Whether you're betting on Super Bowl 59 on your own or with a group of friends, in this video, I'm going to give you 8 picks. So kick back and relax. It's time to get paid. The best quarterback picks for Super Bowl 59 shockingly have nothing to do with their arms. That's right, we're going to talk about both Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts and their rushing attempts, whether we're going higher or lower. Taking a look at Underdog, and we can see Patrick Mahomes has a rushing attempt projection here at 0.68 for higher than 4.5. When we slide over to Jalen Hurts and we look at his rushing attempt projection, and we've got 9.5, and if you drop it down to 8.5, you get a 0.84 multiplier. Now let's talk about why these are interesting plays and what side I'm on. Patrick Mahomes has played in 4 Super Bowls so far in his goated career. I understand as a Bills fan, I have to acknowledge he's potentially the greatest quarterback of all time, or at least on pace to be. And in his 4 Super Bowls that he's played in, he's rushed the football 9, 6, and 5 times. And in the 2 playoff games this season, he had 7 carries against Houston and 11 against the Buffalo Bills. And what's even more interesting is Patrick Mahomes runs the football a heck of a lot more against man coverage. And why does this matter? Because the Eagles play man coverage at a top 10 rate in the NFL, and in the playoffs, they've been playing at a top 5 rate. Back to Underdog and Jalen Hurts. And in the conference championship, we saw Jalen Hurts run the football 10 times. Now he has 2 weeks to recover. I think his knee's going to be A-okay. We've seen these huge games whenever they're close and competitive where he runs the football a ton. And these are all close scoring games when this happens. So I think Jalen Hurts higher than 8.5, higher than 9.5, Patrick Mahomes higher than 5.5, higher than 4.5. It just matters how you want to use these multipliers on Underdog. Those are my 2 best picks at the quarterback position. Let's go look at running backs. Saquon Barkley is going to be a tough player to focus on for the Super Bowl. The potential MVP winner has very high projections for the Super Bowl against potentially the best rush defense we've seen in the last 3 seasons. And while their overall rushing stats are top 3 in the NFL, they were number 1 against opposing running backs, allowing just 57 yards rushing per game. That's crazy. And then on the flip side of things, Saquon Barkley had himself an epic season. His projections at 112.5 rushing yards on Underdog. His rushing attempts are at 22.5. And a stat we loved playing this year was the longest rush, but that's all the way up there at 24.5. If you drop it down to 19.5, I do not mind it at 0.74x. You get a play where he's hit higher than 19.5 for a longest rush in 11 of 17 regular season games, and he went higher than that number in all 3 of 3 playoff games, averaging 6.7 yards per carry and 442 yards across those 3 games. I mean, he is literally second to none. But that's not my favorite running back projection for Super Bowl 59. It's actually on the other sideline, and it's going to be an uncomfortable play here, but I like Isaiah Pacheco higher than 5.5 rushing attempts. Now, Pacheco had an injury-riddled season. That being said, in all 7 games that he suited up for in the regular season, he finished with 6+ rushing attempts. And now we've seen him in the playoffs go for 5 and 5 carries against the Houston Texans and then the Buffalo Bills. However, I think this is maybe a little misleading. In that game against the Bills, he had 3 rushing attempts very early in the game, and then there was some type of botched handoff between Patrick Mahomes and Isaiah Pacheco. It looked like it was some type of read option that just got messed up. And after that, he essentially was taken out of the game. Kareem Hunt came in and played the majority of the snaps. Isaiah Pacheco only had 2 touches after that early fumble, I believe at the end of the first quarter. I have a feeling that in the Super Bowl, the best running back's going to get the most work. And I think the pendulum swings back a little bit this week. Give me Pacheco for higher than 5.5 rushing attempts. Now, I alluded to this in the beginning of the video. I'm going to be talking about Xavier Worthy at the end. So I have the best picks segment of this video, and then I'm going to be adding in the bonus picks. So stick around, you're going to get more. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs run man coverage at a very high rate, and you know who thrives against man coverage? A.J. Brown, baby. That's right, A.J. Brown actually was the number 1 rated wide receiver against man coverage this season, and we saw him rack up 6 receptions against man in the NFC Conference Championship. Now, overall in the season, he finished with 5+ catches in 73% of the games, and they had a heavy emphasis on running the football. Now they're facing the Chiefs, who I think will sell out to stop the run and force Jalen Hurts to beat them through the air. That's also why I think if Jalen Hurts is going to have more pass attempts, that he's going to tuck it and run it a few more times. And against that man coverage, I expect A.J. Brown to go out there and do superstar things. Mr. Primetime's going to make some plays in this one. Now, the best tight end pick, it's a freebie, an absolute no-brainer. Underdog is celebrating the big game by giving everyone a no-sweat entry, which means you either cash your entry or get your entry fee back as bonus credit. And if you come join Underdog now with code DONUTS, not only will you get up to $1,000 deposit bonus cash, but you get a free pick. And the free pick is Travis Kelce. He just needs 1 yard. He's going to be a Super Bowl hero for us. Give us that 1 yard, baby. I'll post that link in the description. Moving on to maybe the most boring position in the game is going to be the kickers, but I'm telling you right now, might be the best play on the entire game. And it's going to be Harrison Butker, higher than 1.5 field goal. Listen, the Super Bowl, all eyes on you every single play. The kicker standing alone in the middle of the field. Well, I guess there's 21 other players standing around him, but you know what I mean. The pressure's insane. Not many kickers can handle it. You see a lot of kickers miss a lot of things in the Super Bowl. And then there's Harrison Butker. He's 9 for 10 in 4 Super Bowls kicking field goals, 10 for 10 kicking extra points. The man is made for the pressure. I'm taking higher than 1.5 field goals for Harrison Butker. All right, let's quickly recap the best picks for Super Bowl 59. Patrick Mahomes, higher than 4.5 rush attempts. Best running back pick, Isaiah Pacheco, higher than 5.5 rush attempts. A.J. Brown, higher than 4.5 receptions for the receivers. The best tight end play was the Travis Kelce free pick, and now Harrison Butker, higher than 1.5 field goals made. Now, I have 3 extra picks. I want to build out that flex 8 entry and use my no sweat entry for the big game that Underdog is giving every single player on their platform. All right, we already covered one of them. It's going to be the Saquon Barkley higher than 19.5 longest rush. I'm adding Xavier Worthy higher than 5.5 receptions. The speedy wide receiver has had 6+ receptions in 4 of the last 5 games. He continues to be the primary wide receiver in the playoffs, and his third down speed over the middle, those crossing patterns, has been absolutely elite, and he's come up big in big spots. I don't think anything changes against the Eagles. I also think they might design some short, quick passes and get Worthy going at the beginning of the game. Jalen Hurts, we already covered, higher than 8.5 rush attempts as an extra pick. And Dallas Goedert, higher than 52.5 receiving yards. The Kansas City Chiefs were horrific against opposing tight ends. They gave up the most receptions per game, the most receiving yards per game, the most yards after catch to opposing tight ends per game, the highest average longest reception per game, and the second highest yards per reception to opposing tight ends. That is not good. And Dallas Goedert has come on a little bit as of late, and I expect him to continue and to flourish in this game. And if you don't have the free pick opportunity because you're not a new user on Underdog, this is my favorite pick for the tight end position. These are my favorite 8 plays for the big game. And no matter what you do out there, you be smart about your money. And most importantly, just enjoy the game. Enjoy the social aspect, have fun with your friends. And for what it's worth, if you want some extra help, I have a couple VIP links down below. I've profited in 9 out of the last 10 days posting for my VIPs. And tell me after this video who you think's gonna win this game. Is it the Chiefs or Eagles? Tell me down below.